Hey, what's going on? Coming at you from Chicago, Illinois. And before I get into the articles that I'm going to discuss in this video, I just want to pose these general questions. Has AI taken over jobs in the past? Is AI currently taking over jobs here in 2024? And if the answer to that question is yes, will it continue to take over jobs in the future? And before sharing my input into those questions, I want to get into these articles and discuss them a little bit in this video because I believe that they will give more clarification as to what the impact that artificial intelligence will have towards the job market. And with this particular topic, it's not a simple, straightforward answer. Oh yes, AI is taking over jobs. It's replacing people, because there are so many variables. We know that consumer spending is not what it was a year, 2 years. You have a lack of consumer spending. You have the cost of inflation. You have different variables. It isn't just strictly artificial intelligence that these companies are dealing with. So I kind of want to just go a little bit more in depth with this subject. So this first article, it's titled "AI Will Create Long-Term Job Disruptions. CEO of Big Four Firm Says." And this article is from earlier in this year, January of 2024. And I found this article on foxbusiness.com. The article says, Paul Knapp, who is one of America's largest consulting firms, said, "I think in the long term there will be disruption, no doubt about it." So he's implying that yes, AI will disrupt the job market. And he says it in a statement format, but he's also stating it in a hypothetical, sort of a gray area, because he doesn't really know for sure what the long-term impact AI will have on jobs in the future. And for that matter, nobody really knows. I know that some of these YouTubers, they make their claims, they say this, they say that, but at the end of the day, they're trying to sell their videos. They're trying to sell their point of view, and they use fear mongering. They want people to they want to sell simplistic answers to simplistic minds, and they're not allowing people to really see the big picture, because I don't even think that some of these YouTubers, they themselves are seeing the big picture. So again, even though he doesn't clarify what the disruption or disruptions will be in the job market, Paul does say that 76% of millennials and Gen Zers said their jobs are already significantly impacted by generative AI, and there has not been a significant job loss to date. So this CEO, he does imply that there has been a job losses as a cause and effect due to artificial intelligence, but he just simply says that it's not significant, and there may be some truth to that. Back in January of this year of 2024, it wasn't as significant, but we've seen now here in the summer of 2024 that companies they have laid off, and you see, but they've laid off, but it hasn't all been due strictly to artificial intelligence. We've seen what happened with in California with the $20 minimum wage fiasco. That's not something particularly attributed to artificial intelligence. But this is what I was alluding to at the beginning of this video. You can't just simply focus solely on AI because there are so many variables involved. This CEO, he continued, so what I think that means is that we're putting it into the mainstream now, and the workforce is still very flexible today. So this CEO, he's implying that, especially back when he made that statement back in January of this year, that because there was flexibility then, that these companies could sort of afford to absorb artificial intelligence without having too many disruptions. Excuse me, in the job market. But again, that was back in January. We've seen there's been so many events that have taken place since. We've seen the protest on these college campuses, and I've seen how some of these companies that they were not interested in hiring some of these protesters that had graduated from these schools because they don't want anything to do with these people and their radical beliefs. So that made it the job market that much more difficult, and it's again that's just going right back to it's not all AI. There's other variables that are involved with the struggles and the challenges of the job market. So that was that article. I want to discuss this second article, and this second article, it really helps to show that it's not strictly AI replacing all these jobs, all these people. It's that these businesses are shifting their business model. They're shifting their business operations, and unfortunately, that involves some people being laid off under this direction that these companies are going with artificial intelligence. So this second article is titled, "Tech Companies Are Slashing Thousands of Jobs as They Pivot Toward AI." And this article is also from January of this year, 2024, and I found this article on CBSNews.com. SAP is the latest big tech player to cut jobs as it pours money into AI. With the German software giant announcing this week that it is investing more than $2 billion to integrate artificial intelligence into its business as part of what it called transformation program. At the same time, the company said Tuesday, again this is a Tuesday back in January, it plans to restructure 8,000 roles. Some of the workers will be laid off, while others will be retrained to work with AI. So it's telling you that not all the layoffs, that not all these massive people are getting laid off. It's that some people, yes, they are getting laid off, but others will be retrained to work alongside AI. We know 2023 was the year of generative AI, and companies invested in it heavily. A Columbia University business professor told CBS Money Watch. That means there are some jobs they've decided to invest less in, and they may be laying off workers. But it also means the jobs they're hiring for are related to AI. That's not to say AI replaces jobs. So basically what they're saying in this article is that if there's a company and this company is investing in AI, and they're putting they're shifting their money towards the AI part of their business, and over here this part of the company isn't working alongside AI. This part of the company isn't receiving the funding that's part of their new business model. This side of the company with AI, they're either going to keep or they're going to hire. It could be, I don't know, engineers or programmers to work with the artificial intelligence. And then with these people over here, some of these people will be invited to work alongside the AI, but then unfortunately some of these people will be let go and they'll just be laid off. So what do I take away from all this information? I think that it's important to not only for you guys but for myself for us to do our due diligence, because it's easy to just watch a YouTube video and then watch a YouTuber rant, and AI is taking over, the robots are taking over the world, and you better hang on to your job because it'll be so hard to find another job because AI is taking over and the robots are taking over. I mean, it's just like it almost leads you to a sense of insanity if you continue to watch this stuff and expose yourself to these things. I think that if you hold on to your job, it should be for whatever financial reasons, for reasons that make sense to you. Don't hang on to your job because of this fear mongering that it'll be so difficult to find another job because of AI and the robots taking over and just all of this nonsense. If you decide to leave your job, yes, it will be challenging, but that's an argument that even before AI came to the forefront, it's finding work has always been to some extent challenging, especially seeking jobs that pay more money and etc. So I just kind of want to loop it all back around to the questions that I posed at the beginning of this video. Has AI taken over jobs? Is it taking over jobs currently, and will it take over jobs in the future? As I've explained throughout this video, it's a yes and no answer. It's closed some doors, but it's also opened other doors. And I think that this should be a learning lesson to do our own due diligence and don't just take what some of these YouTubers at their face value, because I know for myself that before putting this video together, I would have just automatically assumed, yes, AI will take over jobs, and the reason for that is because companies, they want to streamline their work. They don't want to deal with these workers and people calling in sick, and they want to get more. They don't want to deal with workers that are not being as productive as a machine could be. There is some truth to that, but that's I keep saying it multiple times. There are so many different variables that are taking place with these companies that is involving artificial intelligence, but that is just it's steering them in a new direction, and unfortunately it will involve some people losing their jobs. But again, it's creating new jobs for some of these people that will work alongside the AI, as I mentioned in the second article. So that was today's video, and I hope to see you guys in the next one.